Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great, staying safe and sane and healthy, and everyone's getting along out there. In today's video, we're going to talk about two things that are really special to me. One thing I really love, I've loved it since I was a kid. And another thing is something that I've come to appreciate much later in my adult years. And the first thing is inspiration and inspirational people. All right, I have, you know, as time has grown on in my adult years, that kind of thing, you know, I've really started to appreciate inspiring people and people that put out good stories and people that have nothing but good things to say and help promote other people and being happy and just being good people. You know, I'm for that all day long. You know, many of you know that's kind of what this channel is. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Motivated One-Legger, and I'm an amputee above knee. And this channel is basically just my whole story that tells everybody pretty much just kind of, you know, the struggles that I've been through, that kind of thing. We do, you know, product reviews, that kind of stuff, you know, a little bit of everything. So I highly recommend going back and checking out the videos again if you haven't watched anything. The second thing that's really near and dear to me is monster trucks. Now, a lot of you guys have seen on this channel, you know, that we've been to see like Monster Jam, that kind of stuff, and have taken you guys with us. There's actually lives and that kind of stuff that, you know, we're live here in Nashville at Monster Jam. We've done that several years in a row. Like I said, I've been going and seeing them since I was a little kid. It's just something I've always loved and adored. So it's always just been a part of who I am, you know, but, now, the reason that we're talking about monster trucks and the reason we're talking about inspiring people is because of the person that we're going to be talking about today. And that person that we're going to be talking about today is Mr. Ranger Joe Cypher. Now, who is Joe Cypher? Joe Cypher is the driver of a monster truck known as 5 Alarm, who is it is a Hot Wheels monster truck. It's with the monster truck series with the Hot Wheels, the official name is the Hot Wheels Monster Truck Series. There you go. It's a little bit different than Monster Jam. Monster Jam is kind of like top tier as far as that kind of stuff goes. They do like, they travel all over the world. They're in like, you know, the UK, Canada, Australia, places like that, as opposed to, you know, the Hot Wheels tour kind of stays here and goes to a few other countries. But that's about it. It's more of a smaller thing. Watching their, you know, if you go watch anything from the Hot Wheels Monster Truck series, you're going to notice a lot of smaller arenas, concrete floors, really small jumps, just a few kind of cars to crush, and that's it. Okay, well, the reason because of that, and the reason you're not seeing them do backflips and all these big, you know, like walking it all the way across the, you know, the arena and that kind of stuff, and, you know, just really destroying their trucks, is because, let's see, Monster Jam is more, like I said before, it's like balls to the wall. It's just like crazy, like all out, just chaos. From beginning to end, just nuts. And Monster Truck series that you see with the Hot Wheels tour, it's more laid back, kind of more for kids. It's more kid driven, and that's kind of, they love it, you know. They just want to hear those engines. They want to hear them rev up and you know, just take off and whoa, go across the stadium. You know, that's the kind of stuff they truly love. Well, Joe is a driver for 5 Alarm, like I said. And what makes 5 Alarm so special is that there's only one truck like it in the entire, in every single monster truck series, period, throughout the entire world. There's only one truck like his. And the reason his truck is modified, because he is paralyzed from the waist down. He has basic use of his feet and his legs. He can stand up. He can walk minimal. He has to have braces, which is made by a prosthetic company like what I go to. So he can actually get up and move around a little bit when it comes to getting into his truck, that kind of stuff. I have a video here in a minute. We're going to show you how he actually does, like, mount up, as he says. And I'm going to put that in here in a second. We can check that out. Also really interesting, but he doesn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him up, anything like that. He does it on his own. So, but yeah, I'm gonna put that in right here, and you guys can check that out real quick. And he talks a little bit about his truck, and you know, just basically who he is, and tells a little bit about himself and his own story. You guys know I don't really like telling people's story for them. I like letting them do it themselves. So I'm just going to let him take it away and tell his own story. So I'll be right back.
My accident, how I was injured when my accident was, I was here home on leave. We pretty much were heading home to a friend's house. He fell asleep at the wheel, went across the road. When he heard the dirt, he overcorrected, and there was a slight embankment, rolling slight down embankment. So once he overcorrected, it tilted the car into the soft shoulder. It clipped a boulder, and once it clipped that boulder, we started rolling end over end down that slight embankment. And they estimate we rolled end over end 5 times. In the process, Ranger mentality, you know, save your buddy. And so I'm reaching out, I'm timing these rolls. Every time I'm reaching down and had a death grip on the seat, and then I'm putting my hand on the ceiling of the truck, and it's actually hitting so hard my hand's popping off the ceiling. In the meantime, he's rolling around, and I'm trying to grab him, and I had a lap belt on. That's what kind of helped me stay into position. Even though I went forward, I busted my teeth. They fixed them, but it chipped them pretty well. But finally get a hold of him and pull him into me. When I did that, the truck came down on its last impact, and it was a little half-ton truck, and it broke the back axle, cracked the back axle in half. That's how hard we hit. My door was embedded in the ground, and then his body weight grabbed him just at that time and pulled him into me. And when his body weight came into me, it was just perfect timing that it broke my L3, L4, my lower back. And that belt resisting, and his body weight just kind of snapped my spine. Your vertebrae like this, my x-rays were like this. So they put me back together. They put rods in there, they're called Harrington rods. And that's how they patched me up. And you know, they said I'd never walk again, but I'd have a productive life from a wheelchair. But now I do both. I walk with these braces, and you know, I have a really productive life with this truck around the chair. So I was humbled up pretty quick. I wasn't so invincible anymore, and wasn't that Ranger anymore. And you know how when that accident happened, it was like God reached down and touched me and said, "Hey, you know, we're gonna not let you be a Ranger anymore. We're gonna see how you do as a paraplegic." You know. And luckily I had the mentality of the Rangers and what I learned in there, and the never quit attitude. And yeah, it hurt my pride a little bit, but I got back on track. I won't let anybody push me in this chair. Even if I need help, if I'm in the dirt, you know, I get out of it, or I'll get out and, you know, start gimping around on my legs and walking and get myself out of there. So everything I've done, I've tried to do it myself, but there's times when you do need help, you know, and you got to ask for help. And there's a lot of people around me that like to help too. A lot of the ways I've received help with the truck is a lot of sponsorship. You know, a lot of hometown people here are behind this truck. There's probably 12 stickers on this truck, maybe more, but the majority, 90% of those people are here from Reno, and they've always gotten behind me. The hand control MedTech services has got the hand controls for me. We had to modify them, you know, of course, to get in the truck and put them in the truck. But we've always had a good backing behind us to keep us going and give us that lifeline that we need. When I was a kid, my favorite toys were Army Men and Hot Wheels, and I've been lucky enough to do both of those jobs in my life, you know. And granted, the injury set me off to one. You know, when I was doing one, I got injured, and it allowed me to do the other. And today, this is a Hot Wheel. You know, the Airborne Ranger is a Hot Wheel, so it's pretty cool. But I've always been the truck guy too. Always been around trucks, love trucks, and when I got hurt, I knew I wanted to do motorsport. I knew I wanted to challenge myself to do motorsport with hand controls, and I knew I had to do it with hand controls because I just don't have the dexterity in my feet to handle pedals. So I saw the truck for sale. This was the original Bounty Hunter, and went and bought it out of Dixon, Illinois, from a guy named Brian Bellini. and he was getting out of it, and we picked it up and just went with it. So this truck's pretty much 18 years old, and 18 plus probably years old. I can show you how I get in the truck, even though it's here in the shop. Usually the big tires are on it, so it's usually a foot and a half taller than it is right now. But we'll show you how I get in there. And usually what I do is roll up to the truck here, and somebody usually comes and grabs my chair and gets it out of the way so I don't run it over. But what I do is get up, pull myself up underneath here, get my leg situated on the bar so it don't slip. And I kind of teeter-totter back and forth, pull myself up this gap, put the other leg into position, the right leg, and I go back to the left leg. And then once I'm there, I grab the handle up here, make sure the belts are already ready, and then swing my right leg around, and pull up on the seat, and I just swing back into the seat. And I get situated. I got the steering wheel over here. That way I can get in here. Put the steering wheel back on. All locked up.
So as you can see, it's very, very fascinating. It's something that, you know, to say it's inspirational is a mega understatement. You know, this guy's out here just living his life, man. He's doing his thing. He's not getting by. I was gonna say he gets by with what he has to deal with. No, man, he's out here kicking ass. There ain't no getting by to it. You know, he's out here doing his thing, and we're all super, super stoked for him, super proud of him. As you can see, he was in a car accident in 1989 when he was on leave from military. He was like, you know, just kind of like weekend leave or something like that. And he got into a car accident, and it crushed 2 of his vertebrae in his back, and now he's paralyzed, and that's the story of why he doesn't walk anymore. Now, I want to show you guys, he has a very, very, very detailed way that he drives these things. And, you know, obviously, to drive a monster truck, you're going to need pedals, you're going to need everything like that, and be able to use and be able to maneuver the truck, you're going to have to use your feet. Well, not this guy. And I'm going to show you exactly how it does it, because it is one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen in my life. Essentially, he takes the same theory that you would use like for an army tank or something like that, and adapts that to what he's doing. And it's absolutely incredible. So check this out.
Okay. All right, so as far as the rear steering, I have a toggle switch for my forefinger here, and it's right here. And what I do is, to turn left, I pull back on it. To turn right, I push it forward. And then to let me know if my self-centering system's on, I have a light here. I have a thumb button under there. And what I do is when I hit that button, it puts the self-centering on, and the light tells me it's on. So like when I do donuts, I'll go in, I'll pull the steering one complete way, then I'll turn the system off so that the back tires stay cocked that way, so I can do the donut really, really good. And then once I come out of the donut, I turn the system back on, and it self-centers back to the center for me. So my right hand, to recap a little bit, my right hand pushes forward on the brake, pulls down for the throttle. My left hand, that's as you were. My left hand, to recap a little bit, pushes forward on the brake, pulls down on the throttle. My forefinger works the rear steer, and also with my thumb. My thumb has the control of the self-centering system of the rear steer. My right hand stays on the front steering wheel, pretty much, which is the front steer. And then for a split second, when I launch, when I give it the throttle and launch, I have to come over here and I have to jerk my shifter. I have to jerk my shifter from first gear to second gear, so I take my hand off the steering wheel for a split second. And then, of course, if I have to stop and start gearing down, I take my hand off my right hand off the steering wheel and pop the shifter to a lower gear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get up close to it. Like, could you kind of operate?
Yeah.
The controls?
Yeah, sure. This operation of this hand control, you push forward for the brake, You pull back and down for the throttle, which works the pedal. This actually has pedals in it, but they're up so high to give me room and to actually help the hand control. So then once you let go, that becomes a neutral position. And then my forefinger works the rear steering, back and forth. And then my thumb button also works the centering system of the rear steer. And of course, my right hand is on the steering wheel. And then at a split second, I grab about the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock position when I'm ready to launch off the line. Once I launch off the line, I reach over and I pop the steering wheel in from first gear to second gear. And of course, if I have to slow down or come to a turn and I need a lower gear, I take my hand off the steering wheel for a second and pop it back into first gear or second gear, whichever gear I'm in. It depends. This transmission has three gears, so it helps out a lot when I need to go into a longer gear, a longer course, a bigger course. So. But otherwise, we're only using first or second gear.
So, like I said, it's extremely fascinating. As far as a little backstory on Joe, he's been doing this for many years. Since 1995, he got his first truck. That was a truck called Airborne Ranger. And, well, it was renamed Airborne Ranger. I can't remember the name that it used to be before. He basically bought a team that was trying to get out of monster truck driving and doing what they were calling stadium truck events. And, yeah, so he was getting out of that. So he drove that truck for right at 5 years with the name Airborne Legend. And in 2000 is when he took home his first gold in freestyle in Reno, I believe it was, in 3 different nights. And then, let's see, what was it? 2003, I think he got another gold in freestyle in 2 different nights in Reno. So, my man's out here kicking ass. In his time that he's driven, let me see, in 2005, he started driving V8 Bomber. And then I think in, let me see, 2021 is when he started driving V8 Bomber. And then I can't remember exact dates, but he's driven many trucks, including, let's see, V8 Bomber, Tiger Shark, I'm trying to think. He's currently the driver of 5 Alarm right now. And there's been several others. And he's also, let me see, there's a toy line for him. There is, of that same truck, of the 5 Alarm truck, there's a Hot Wheels that you can actually get in several different colorways that they have. I'll put in a picture of that here in a second. You can check that out. You know, so this guy, I mean, he's out here killing it, y'all. He's out here just absolutely killing it. And, you know, I wanted to highlight, you know, Joe today and just tell him that, you know, one, thank you for your service. We greatly appreciate everything you've done for the United States and just being your typical awesome self. You went and stepped up and did a job that nobody asked you to do, but you chose to do it anyway. And for that, we will always be thankful. And just thank you for being inspiring to people like myself and people that are down on their luck right now that may be facing the same thing, that are having issues and, you know, are facing that hopelessness and not really seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Well, it's people like Joe that makes everything kind of brighten up a little bit, you know, kind of similar to what I hope I do for you guys. You know, I hope that if in your darkest days, you can look at my videos and look at what I'm doing over here and say, I can do this. I got this. And that's exactly what Joe's doing. So I want to greatly thank Joe Cypher for just being his typical awesome self. Like I said before, I'm kind of repeating myself and I do apologize. We got some other great things coming up on the channel. I'm not really going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to surprise you guys with it. But until then, I will see you guys very, very soon. I need everybody to do me a huge favor. Stay happy, safe, sane, motivated. Don't look back. Don't give a crap what anybody else says about you, because at the end of the day, it don't matter. I'll see you soon.